Hi Anti Society, welcome back to the Antisocial Planet. Today we are checking out P1Harmony Intak's Good Kisser behind the scenes. I'm really interested in this just because there were so many different things that went into this. Like, it wasn't just like the vocals, it was the performance, it was the video. There were so many different elements put into this that I talked about in going through the actual cover, that there was like so much kind of attention and effort put into this video. So I'm excited to see some behind the scenes. It looks like it might mostly be for the video part of it, which makes me like a little bit sad because I am greedy and I do want all of the ins and outs of all the behind the scenes, but I'll take what I can get. I'm totally fine with a video of Intak just being a cutie pie in general. So let's get into the video, see what he's got for us. Dramatic shot with a Dutch angle on a chandelier. Okay. I do want to know, do we play the drums?
네, 여러분 안녕하세요. 인탁입니다.
Hello.
오늘은 첫 번째 솔로 커버 쿠키썰을 찍으러 왔습니다. 오늘 제 꿈을 펼치는 날이어서 아주 기쁩니다. 여러 좀 후보가 많았는데 처음으로 좀 가장 도전해보기 좋을 만한 곡이라고 생각했어서 기존의 인탁이 갖고 있는 모습보다 좀 더 새로운 모습들을 많이 보여드리고 싶었었고 이렇게 준비를 해봤습니다. 오늘 인탁.
Yeah, okay, wait, we have the drums and everything. He's so adorable. I think it's so funny that he has like awkward energy. He's just like talking, and then performance is completely different.
좋을 만한 곡이라고 생각했어서 기존의 인탁이 갖고 있는 모습보다 좀 더 새로운 모습들을 많이 보여드리고 싶었었고 이렇게 준비를 해봤습니다. 오늘 인탁.
So since he practiced it.
사랑 부탁드립니다.
Drums.
카메라를 보면 되는데 일단 안 보는 느낌을 해가지고
네.
제가 좀 슬로우를 가지고 있을 거라서
네.
편하게 해주셔도 될 것 같아요.
네, 알겠습니다.
Be cool. I mean, probably better than anything I could have accomplished. I can't do the twirl thing either. I don't have that kind of coordination. Just be cool about it. Be casual.
사실 뭐 쓴 게 별로 없어요. 배운 지는 오래됐는데 여기 음악에 맞춰서 하는 건 배운 지는 얼마 안 됐어요.
Yeah, okay, see, I was like, does he actually play? Because I'm like, I know he was acting it, right? And I'm like, and it looks like, I'm not a drummer, so I can only say so much. But I was like, it looks like he's playing along with it. It's not like he's just like hitting the drums randomly to be like playing the drums. I feel like I can't remember if I actually saw anything about him learning the drums, because I try to like veer away from stuff that is maybe gonna spoil something for me social media wise before I make videos. But I think it's interesting that he's like, I sort of can play. I can play enough to do this song and I've been like practicing and stuff, but it's not like he's in the recording of it. Those are like two different things. I like that he's trying it though. Like, it's not just all the new stuff of him doing something on his own. It's also like putting in something like this, right? That's why I wanted to see behind the scenes. I'm like, there were so many different things that he was putting into it that he's like, I want to do a little bit of everything just in case. Dancing he can do. Look at the cutie pie.
이 준비하면서 많이 떨렸어요. 왜냐면 랩 포지션으로서 좀 새롭게 도전하는 장르적인 부분도 컸고 특히 좀 제가 가성을
I talked about the falsetto. It sounded great. It's a little like a mix, but you did great.
뭔가 이렇게 본격적으로 가성을 써본 경험이 없었어서 연습하는데 좀 어려움이 있을까 고민이 컸는데 제 스스로 저한테 리미티드를 좀 두기 싫었어요. 좀 더 한 단계 성장하고자 좀 더 많은 것들을 할 수 있는 아티스트가 되고 싶었기 때문에 그래서 드럼이란 것도 과감하게 배워봤고 보컬곡으로서도 좀 더 저의 역량을 드러낼 수 있는 부분이 있으면 좋을 것 같아서 그래서 그만큼 부담감도 컸어요. 잘 해낼 수 있을까? 하지만 해냈습니다.
Yeah, you did it. Ooh. Not you immediately cutting to him dropping the drumstick. The editors did him dirty. Look, the editing team for P1Harmony is always wild. But I was talking about that like when I went to the video, I was like, I wasn't expecting going in for him to do the vocals for it, because given the song choice, I was like, probably he's going to be doing the dancing, because that just makes sense in terms of the vocals don't really fit into what I would expect from him. And then when he did the vocals, I was like, oh, we're getting like all of the stuff, right? And then he was playing the drums. I'm like, okay, we're getting all of the things, right? So I think that it's really fun that he was like, I'm going to pick something that is like outside of my comfort zone, and it's definitely going to push me, right? Because this is him. I didn't even realize fully that this is in fact the first time that he's done like a solo cover like all on his own. But it's interesting to see him stepping out into something that is going to make him like stretch what he can do, and is not just doing a solo thing on his own. And I feel like if he had done any kind of cover, we would have loved it. But the fact that I'm going to pick something that isn't really in my comfort zone of my like vocal performance, and I'm going to push myself to do it. I'm going to add in other elements. Like I'm not just going to stick with something that I know I can pull off, even though that kind of adds to the pressure of it, but it's also part of like how you grow as a performer, right? And again, there's like that nerves to it because he wants to do it well, but I like that there's like the challenge in it as well. Even when they did covers as like a group, right? Like when P1Harmony does covers, Intak tends to still like do like rap stuff. Even when they do English covers, they tend to put in rap verses, and in like Korean and stuff too. So it's even in those cases where he was doing covers with the group, he tends to stick to his comfort zone in terms of what his role is in the group. And that made sense for a lot of like early stuff, because you had to establish like what was his role in the group when people were discovering them. So I think that it makes sense now that they've been a group for a while, that he's starting to figure out like, how do I push what I can do and use this as an opportunity, not just to show off different parts of what I can do as a performer, but also push myself to learn new things and figure out where that kind of those little areas are where I can step a little bit outside of my comfort zone without the whole thing coming apart. There's a delicate balance there, right? Of challenging yourself, but not like biting off more than you can chew.
그래서 그만큼 부담감도 컸어요. 잘 해낼 수 있을까? 하지만 해냈습니다.
I like how Kadri's like, I did it, and then
보조에서 구입한 페도라입니다. 이 깃털
of course you bought a fedora. That makes perfect sense to me.
끼울 수 있다 그래서. 끼지 마세요.
No, not laughing. Not at all. But it makes total sense to me that you would have bought a fedora.
이걸로 골랐어요. 난 챙이 딱딱합니다. 좀 리본이랑 색깔이 막 그렇게 다르지 않아서 그나마 좀 캐주얼한 느낌. 좀 이런 느낌. 다녀오겠습니다.
I love how much attention the hat has. It does add to the silhouette though. I also think it's really interesting, like I was saying, in terms of expecting him to fit into the like dancer side of this, see the difference there of him being like, am I gonna do this okay with the drums, and some of the awkwardness of him being like, I'm not like fully confident in this yet, but I have been practicing and I want to do this, right? And knowing that he can do it, and like the reassurance afterwards, okay, it looks cool. And then you see him here where he's like leading, he's counting in, you can see a certain like comfort in the way that he's holding himself. And I think that's so fascinating to see like those two different kind of sides, right? Like where does he know like that he has the kind of like background and skill set, and where is he, I don't know. I think it's just so fascinating to see like the contrast of those two things. You can definitely tell that when it comes to like dance, he's comfortable. When it comes to something like drums or like this, talking about like the singing part of it, he's, I don't know. So even though he did a great job all around, I just think that it's fascinating to see that like direct contrast between those two things. I mean, the hat really is its own character in this video, isn't it? Love that, like, chest isolation right on the beat.
Yeah. Say, let me see.
Props is always gamble.
I don't been around the world, I don't see a lot of girls, so I'm guessing that it's true.
I I love the leg swing and then the little like step over on the drum fills. Are so good.
That's for you, baby. I done been around the world, I done seen a lot of girls, so I'm guessing that it's true. Make me holla and a bit $1 million. Don't nobody kiss like you. Don't nobody kiss like you. Don't nobody kiss like you. Bang, bang, bang. Don't nobody kiss like you. Don't nobody kiss like you.
Yeah, like you're gonna have to light up the cameras. I love the switch. They're like locked in for that performance. Then it's just cut. He's like, just like. Look at this little smile. He's so adorable. Look, not to like have my bias showing, but I always bias rappers. Bonus points if they have golden retriever energy. Yeah, nothing says cool like a man in a fedora. Doing that. Yeah.
방금 찍은 게 이 목걸이를 드랍하면서 이제 첫 노래 베이스가 나오는 장면이었는데요. 봄. Yes. 찍은 게 이 목걸이를 드랍하면서 이제 첫 노래 베이스가 나오는
Super cool.
장면이었는데요.
Smooth. The point is you did it for the camera.
Yes.
Did it just say you've got a friend in me? Like a Toy Story Woody reference?
이제 첫 노래 베이스가 나오는 장면이었는데요.
I can't.
봄. Yes.
Clearly. Coolness overload.
여기서 오프닝 처음에 제가 따로 추가한 인트로 구간에 보기 시작하기 전에 조금 느낌을 잡는 그런 구간입니다.
They literally talk like Woody. Trying to navigate this stuff, there's so many things that you kind of have to stay in a narrow area too. Give the dancers.
여기에서 여기까지 다 이어지게 할 수 없어요. 좀 더 다른 애들 조금 살짝 더 내려오고. 네, 좋아요. 오늘 살짝 빈티지한 감성이 묻어나는 좀 웨스턴 모드 재킷을 입었습니다. 솔직히 요새 너무 웨스턴만 하는 것 같아서 좀 바꿔보려고 하긴 했는데 촬영 장소가 좀 이런 굉장히 나무나무하고 막 술들도 있고 그래갖고 딱 서부 술집 느낌이었고 웨스턴은 안 할 수 없겠다. 그래갖고 한 번 더 시도해보았습니다.
I mean, points for commitment, right? I thought maybe we were going like a little bit too much with the Western vibe. He's like, then I just went for it.
나무나무하고
Why not, right?
술들도
I feel like you
있고
can't
그래갖고 딱
halfway a
서부
Western
술집
vibe.
느낌이었고 웨스턴은 안 할 수 없겠다. 그래갖고 한 번 더 시도해보았습니다. 따라란. 여기가 멋있네.
Like there's all these little details, like hand details and like the hard stops and stuff. Oh. He recovered well though, all things considered. I mean, the fact that he can perform like that and then also, like, not be able to coordinate enough other aspects is remarkable. It's probably an exhausting day.
저를 저주를. 화이팅. 엄마. 화이팅.
Gotta commit. Almost there. I mean, I think it shows like how much effort put into it, right? That he's like getting it just right, staying late, locking it even though he's tired.
쿠키서 망간부 만사부. 네, 여러분 오늘 쿠키서
It was
촬영
very well
종료했습니다.
done.
같이 채울 사람이 없네. 혼자 찍으니까. 일단 오늘
There's no here to clap. I could have clapped, darling. I'm sorry.
분들께서 빠르게 고생해 주셨는데 정말 결과물 너무 이쁘게 잘 나올 것 같아서 지금 기대가 너무 되고요. 정말 힘들게 연습하고 준비한 만큼
I can tell there's so many elements to
것
this.
같습니다. 이게 다 저희 피스 여러분들을 위해서 제가 약 6개월 전부터 열심히 준비했기 때문에
6 months.
사랑과 관심만 기다리고 있습니다. 여러분 쿠키서 많이 기대해 주시고 나오면
와우.
예쁘게 봐주세요. 피스 여러분 감사합니다. 오늘 고생 많으셨습니다. 안녕.
He's so adorable. But I didn't realize he'd spent so much. But like I was saying, even like the original, there's so many elements, right? Like it's not just about recording all the vocals. Like there's the main vocal, then there's all the layers of vocals, right? And there's so many different like character and like different modes of the voice, right? Like the way that you perform like the verses is very different than like the chorus and like the pre-chorus stuff. There's so many different parts of your voice that you have to use in the song. And then there's like preparing like the drums, right? Being able to play enough of that you can film it, right? And incorporate that in. Then there's all of the choreography. Then there's finding all of the sets. Then there's doing all of the costumes, right? There's all like the lighting, and there's so many different things to it that I'm like, there's so much work that went into this, and it's super impressive, right? And him being like 6 months, I'm like, that's so long, especially like in K-pop world, like just being able to do this like around the fact that they had like what 2 comebacks in the middle of that, right? There's so many things going on with like Sad Song and then Duh, and then we had this, right? So like he was busy and also doing this. That's crazy. No wonder he was tired at the end. I would be too, but I think it's so interesting to see again like what he's like when he's not in performing mode, when he's just hanging out. And then there's like the way that he is so focused when it comes to like actually performing things. I think it's so interesting. Like it's a light switch for him. And I know that we talk about like duality a lot and stuff with like K-pop, but it's so interesting to have people who can do that, because I feel like I, as a performer, I was always like half in performance mode all the time. Like even when I was not doing stuff, there was still like my brain was still turning with all of the technicalities of things that like being able to see someone who's just like, done now is like wild to me. But I loved it so much. It was so fun. I love getting to see that. And like I was just thinking, it seems like it was a pretty fast turnaround once they actually got filming, right? There was a bunch of like practice and lead up and like getting everything prepared, and they're like, okay, we need to just do this, right? Because it's like getting the lighting right, having the set for a certain amount of time, like scheduling, I'm sure was also a thing, because like I said, I'm like, he probably was doing this like in the middle of doing like Duh promotions and stuff, right? Like he's been busy. It seemed like it was a really like quick turnaround where they're like, we have to just keep going until we finish this up, and it like was running late and everything, because sometimes you just got to do it, right? So I think it's also worth pointing out like the sheer amount of work that other people put in, right? Like all the staff in terms of the people like filming and working on this, but also all the backup dancers, right? Like they had to also learn this choreography and be there for the shoot. All of the like finding the set and getting the set right, the lighting, costuming, like all of that had to happen. All the people who helped with the like arrangement and composition of the song and all of that. There's so many different things that went into making this, and then to have it where you're like, you just have to like sprint to the end for it is wild. But I love getting to see all the like little nuances and details, and what do we want to go for, and being like, let's just lean into the Western thing, and like all the kind of little details of like how everything's going to fit together, and like the aesthetic of it versus also all the other kind of little things in it. And I think that it's so interesting to see again just like the way that a performer's kind of like mind works. As someone who like used to do performance, I'm always fascinated to see like how other people go about their craft. And I think that it's really interesting to see how he started, where they're like, we're gonna do like the drums and everything, and he's like, I don't really know what I'm doing, to like getting into like performance and dance, where he's like looking back at the performance, he's just one more, right? Like him like being like, I need to get this like just right, because he knows that. So I think that's so interesting to just see how he's both showing off the parts of him as a performer that he has like put a lot of time and effort into and has as a bit of a perfectionist vibe to, and then other parts where he's, I just want to try something new and see if I can pull it off. And I did, despite the little hiccups along the way. He did it. It looked great in the video. So I really love getting more behind the scenes stuff. And I think this is so fun to see him working on something on his own, right? But I hope you enjoyed watching that along with me. You can click this playlist to go into my previous reactions, or you can subscribe so next time I post an P1Harmony reaction. I will see you in the next video. Bye.